Hi, I'm Maggie from maggiescrochet.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a scarf using the new Red Heart Boutique Sashay Sparkle yarn. And these are the 7 colors that we have available at maggiescrochet.com, and the color I'm going to show this scarf in is the salmon. It's beautiful. So let's get started. So I've pulled the outer wrapper off, and this is the outside strand, and so it doesn't flop around, I'm just going to wind it around really loosely, but then I'm going to tuck this end in right here. And the end that I want to use is inside. So this is called a pull skein, and you pull from the center, and it's easier than pulling from the outside. Sometimes it's difficult to get the start end, but this one doesn't appear to be too bad. So there's the end of it right there. And when I open it up, it looks very similar to actually other, like your typical netting for the ruffled scarves. So I am going to use a Dreams hook. And I also have close by these jumbo stitch markers, and these are available at maggiescrochet.com. They come in very, very handy when you're making these. So I'm going to set that off to the side. And I have an F hook. The gauge really doesn't matter on this. So to start this, I'm going to take my first 3 or 4 loops. So right here I have 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to fold those over the next 3 loops. So the fold will be there, and this will go here. 1, 2, and 3. See how I'm overlapping I'm matching the 3 over the next 3. So now I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to insert it from front to back through both loops right here. And then I'm going to bring it from the back over to the front again, front to back in there. And front to back in there. So that'll help that little ragged end stay in. So now I'm just going to skip 1 loop, pick up the next loop, skip the next loop, pick up the next loop. I'm stretching this out also as I'm going. I'm going to skip, pick up, skip, pick up. So now I am going to, the reason why I like Dreams hook the best for making these scarves is that there's a real deep cut in the head of the hook, and so you can sink the last loop that you picked up into the head of the hook, and then I always put my finger right here between the last and the second to the last one. I bring them all together like this. I push them together, and I'm gonna like pinch them on each side, the group together, and then I am going to turn the head of my hook down like this and draw it through all the other loops on my hook like this. So that's my first little cluster stitch. So now I'm going to continue doing the same thing. I'm going to skip this one, pick up this one, and that's 1 new one, and then there's 2. And I'm skipping, and then I'm going to pick up the 3rd new loop. I'm skipping, and I pick up the 4th, skip, 5th, skip, 6th, skip 7th, and then 8. So now I have 8 new loops on my hook. I have a total of 9. I'm leaving this loop on my hook. I'm going to push it down into the head of the hook. I put my index finger in here between this loop and the rest of the loops. And on the other side, I'm going to put my thumb, and I'm going to pinch these loops between my index finger and my thumb. I'm going to turn the head of my hook down and bring that through the loops on my hook like this. And then I'm going to get my finger out of there. See how it's starting to ruffle? You can always, I'm picking up 8 new loops. You can pick up, I've seen people do these by only picking up 5 loops and it looks really good. I've seen 12 loops and it comes out real full. I tend to like mine a little bit more kind of laid back and relaxed looking. I don't like the real super full ones, but whatever your preference is, all you got to do is pick up more loops if you want it really full, or less loops if you want just a little. It's really nice looking if you just pick up 4 or 5 loops. You need to just try it and see how it looks. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to put this one into the head of my hook, and then I'm going to grab all these, and I'm going to turn the head of my hook down and draw that through all the rest of the loops on my hook, like that. That's how easy that is. You don't even have to know how to crochet to make this. So I just keep going, and this is plenty to make one scarf, and a very long scarf. But if you pull up more loops, if you pull up a ton of loops, let's say 15, you may run out of the yarn. But I'm talking about if you're doing 4, 5, 6, even up to 12, I think you're fine as far as having enough yarn in one skein to make one scarf. And if you do this with like 4 or 5 loops, I'm sure that you could get 2 scarves out of one skein. So that's an advantage of doing it like that too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this yarn will roll like crazy, so you just roll this thing towards you or away from you and it'll straighten it out. Sometimes it works either way, so you have to just play with it and see what works. But there, I picked up 8 new ones. I'm going to put my finger in here, and then I'm going to pinch these together, turn the head of my hook down, and bring those through the loops on my hook. Okay, so that's how you do that. Then, when you get all the way done, your scarf is the length and the fullness that you want. Well, let me show you one thing. Let's say you need to go make dinner, and so you take your hook off the scarf and you want to save it with the hook, stitch marker like this. Or you could use this to hold your place while you work on the next set. And then once you have the next set, you can move this up and lock in the next set if you're afraid of losing all those stitches on the one chain. So like that. But right now, I'm going to take this out, put this back on, and then I am going to cut this out here. I want about 4 inches out here. And I'm going to yarn over with the whole strand like that. You may need to get a bigger hook, but I think this will work. So you're going to take the whole strand and take the last loop that was on your hook and pull that over the whole strand of the netting yarn. So then you pull that out like that and pull it, and then that'll be locked in place. Now another thing you can do to secure it even more is to come in here and find a little place at the end, like right here, let's say like this, and bring the strand through that and into there like that to make an extra knot. And you could even do this one more time if you've left the 4 inches. So you just make another knot, and then that'll hold it really good. And then you want to cut this a little bit shorter, like maybe 1 inch. And then this will, the last ruffles will fall and cover that up, that little knot up, so you won't see it. So that's how you make the ruffled scarf using the Red Heart Boutique Sashay Sparkle yarn. And the dream hook that I used was size F, and that's available at maggiescrochet.com. And the stitch markers are also available, and the yarn. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you make some beautiful scarves and post them on our Facebook page, which is also Maggie's Crochet when you search on Facebook. Thank you.